The small planet of Virelia was quiet, covered with soft purple grass and tall, thin trees that shimmered under the pale blue sky. In this peaceful place lived Lyra, a tiny alien no bigger than a human hand. Her skin was smooth and light green, and her big eyes shone like stars. She was curious and gentle, but also very afraid. One day, as Lyra explored near the edge of her home forest, she saw something strange: bright lights and loud noises in the sky. She hid behind a glowing tree and watched as a large silver ship landed on the ground. The ship was unlike anything she had seen before, big, noisy, and covered in metal that sparkled in the sunlight. A group of humans came out of the ship. They wore clothes that looked strong and shiny, and they carried tools that made soft buzzing sounds. Lyra had heard stories about humans. They were supposed to be powerful and dangerous, taking what they wanted without care. Her heart beat fast, with fear. She tried to stay hidden, but one of the humans spotted her. The human knelt down slowly and looked at her with wide eyes. Lyra froze, trembling as the human reached out a hand. The human's touch was soft and gentle, not like the rough claws she feared. "Don't be afraid," the human said in a calm voice. "We mean no harm." But Lyra did not trust these words. She knew she had to be careful. When the humans gently picked her up, she felt a strange mix of fear and hope. They carried her into their ship, where it was warm and filled with strange machines and soft lights. Inside the ship, Lyra looked around nervously. The humans spoke quietly to each other in a language she did not understand. One of them, a woman with kind eyes, sat beside Lyra and smiled softly. "My name is Captain Maya," she said. "We found you alone and scared. We want to help." Lyra wanted to believe her, but she could not forget the stories of humans who took and destroyed. She thought about begging for mercy, but what use was mercy if they were monsters? Still, Captain Maya's voice was gentle and her eyes showed no anger. The ship began to move, lifting off from the planet's surface. Lyra watched through a small window as her home grew smaller and smaller. The trees, the purple grass, and the quiet streams were left behind. The humans brought her food, small pieces of fruit she had never tasted before. It was sweet and fresh. Slowly, Lyra's fear began to lessen. She realized these humans were different from the terrible stories she had heard. Captain Maya explained that they were explorers, traveling the galaxy to learn about new worlds and meet new life. They were not here to fight or take, but to understand. Lyra wanted to ask many questions. Why had they come to Virelia? What did they want with her? But she stayed silent, watching the stars pass by outside the window. At night, when the ship's lights dimmed, Lyra sat alone in a small room with soft walls. She thought about her family and friends back on Virelia. Would they ever see her again? Would she ever go home? Captain Maya visited her often, sitting quietly and talking about the stars and planets. She told Lyra about Earth, a blue and green world full of life and hope. Lyra listened carefully, fascinated by the stories. One day Lyra noticed something strange. The humans were preparing for something important. They moved quickly, their faces serious. Captain Maya spoke to her crew with firm words. Lyra did not understand, but she felt the tension in the air. Then, through the ship's window, Lyra saw a dark shape appear in space. It was a large ship, black and covered with sharp edges, moving fast toward them. The humans prepared their defenses. Captain Maya stood by the control panel, her eyes full of determination. Lyra realized this was no ordinary journey anymore. Danger was coming and the humans were ready to fight. For the first time, Lyra felt a new feeling, not just fear but hope. Maybe these humans were not monsters after all. Maybe with them she could survive. The ship shook as the dark ship came closer and the battle began. The dark ship was huge and fast. It moved like a shadow through space, heading straight for Captain Maya's ship. Lyra watched with wide eyes from the small window. She had never seen anything so big and scary. Her heart beat fast with fear. Tiro. Humans were busy at their stations, pressing buttons and talking quietly but quickly. Captain Maya stood tall and calm, giving orders with a strong voice. Lyra could see the worry on her face, but also the strength. "Shields up," Maya commanded. A bright blue shield appeared around their ship, glowing like a bubble. The dark ship fired strange weapons, bright beams of light that hit the shield with loud bangs. The shield held strong. Lyra trembled, but did not run. She saw the humans working together like a well-oiled machine. Each person had a job, and they did it with care and courage. Suddenly, the dark ship sent smaller ships to attack. They zoomed around Captain Maya's ship, trying to break the shield. The humans fired back with their own weapons, bright flashes lighting up space. One of the small enemy ships got too close. Captain Maya grabbed a control and fired a beam that hit the enemy ship. It exploded into tiny pieces. Lyra gasped. She had never seen battle like this before. Despite the fighting, Captain Maya's voice stayed calm and clear. "Hold the line. Protect everyone." Lyra felt something change inside her. She saw not monsters but protectors, humans who fought not to destroy, but to save. Suddenly, the enemy ships stopped attacking. The dark ship moved closer and a loud voice came through the ship's speakers. "You have captured our prize," the voice said. It was cold and hard. "Return it, or suffer the consequences." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She was the prize they wanted to take. The dark aliens cared nothing for her feelings or life. The humans around her looked serious but did not answer the threat. Captain Maya said softly, "We will not hand her over. She is not a prize. She is a guest and a friend." The dark ship fired again, stronger this time. The shield flickered, but held. The battle grew louder and more dangerous. Lyra wanted to hide, but she could not look away. She saw humans risk everything to protect her. It was the first time she understood that humans could be brave and kind. One of the crew members, a young man named Jalen, came to her side. "You're safe with us," he said. "We won't let anything happen to you." Lyra nodded, feeling a warm glow inside. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe in humans. The dark ship's weapons hit the shield again and again, trying to break it. Suddenly, an alarm rang. The shield was weak on one side. The enemy was close to breaking through. Captain Maya made a quick decision. "Prepare to launch the escape pods. We will split up and meet again." Lyra's heart sank. She did not want to leave the humans, but she also understood the danger was real. The ship shook violently as the enemy fired a powerful blast. The lights flickered and smoke filled the room. The humans moved fast, helping each other, keeping calm even in the chaos. Lyra was guided into a small escape pod by Jalen. The pod sealed shut and shot away from the main ship. Outside, she saw the battle continue, the blue shield finally breaking. Under the dark ship's attack, the pod moved quickly through space away from the fight. Lyra looked back and saw the humans' ship, damaged, but still fighting. "Why are you risking so much for me?" she asked Jalen quietly. He smiled, though tired. "Because you are not just a tiny alien. You are life. And life deserves to be protected." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. No one had ever said anything so kind to her. She wanted to trust him, to believe in this strange new world. The pod landed on a nearby asteroid, a small rocky place where the humans could hide and rest. Inside, Lyra and Jalen sat close, sharing the little food and water they had. Jalen told her stories about Earth, about people who worked hard to make their world better, who helped each other in times of need. Lyra listened, fascinated and hopeful. As they rested, Lyra thought about her fears. She had always believed humans were the monsters of space, the cruel enemies from stories. But now she saw something different. Humans were not perfect. They had made mistakes and fought wars. But they also had hearts that cared, hands that helped, and courage to protect the weak. Lyra knew her journey was only beginning. The dark aliens were still out there, dangerous and cruel. But she was no longer alone. With humans by her side, she had a chance to fight back, to find hope in the darkness. She looked at Jalen and smiled. "Thank you for saving me." He smiled. "Presto, we will keep saving each other. That's what friends do. And for the first time, Lyra felt that maybe the stories she had heard about humans were wrong. Maybe the real monsters were not who she thought. After the battle, the quiet asteroid felt like a safe place. The small group of humans who escaped with Lyra worked quickly to repair their ship. Lyra stayed close to Captain Maya and Jalen, learning more about these strange, strong beings. First, Lyra felt unsure. She had grown up believing humans were dangerous, but now she saw their kindness. They shared food, helped each other, and listened carefully when she spoke. One day, Captain Maya invited Lyra to the ship's small meeting room. "We want you to help us," she said. "You know your people and your home better than we do. The dark aliens want to hurt many worlds. We need to stop them." Lyra looked down. She felt small and weak. "Why would you trust me?" she asked softly. "Because you showed us your heart," Maya said with a smile. "We are stronger when we work together." Lyra thought about it. Maybe this was her chance. Maybe humans and aliens could be friends, not enemies. The humans explained their plan. They wanted to find the dark aliens' base and stop them before more planets were destroyed. They asked Lyra to guide them to her homeworld, Virelia. Lyra hesitated. Her home was peaceful, but it had been hidden for many years. If the dark aliens found it, they would take everything. But she could not let fear win. She nodded. "I will help you." The journey was long. Lyra flew with the humans through the stars, telling them stories about Virelia, the purple grass, the shining trees, and the peaceful rivers. She showed them pictures of her family and friends. Jalen was always by her side. He asked questions and listened with respect. Slowly, Lyra began to trust him. She saw his courage and kindness. One night, under the light of distant stars, Lyra and Jalen talked quietly. "Do you think your people will trust humans?" Jalen asked. Lyra looked up. "I hope so, but it will take time. They are afraid of what they don't know." "Maybe we can help them understand," Jalen said. "We are not so different after all." As the ship neared Virelia, Lyra grew nervous. The planet looked beautiful from space, but she worried about what the humans would think. When they landed, Lyra's people gathered cautiously. They were small like her, but wary of the strange visitors. Lyra stepped forward. "These humans saved my life," she said. "They want to help us. The dark aliens are coming. We must stand together." Some of her people nodded, but others stayed silent. Fear was strong. Captain Maya spoke with gentle words. "We come as friends. We want to protect your home and your people." Slowly, the Virelians began to see the humans' goodwill. They allowed the humans to help prepare defenses and share their knowledge. Together, they built strong shields and trained to fight if needed. Lyra watched as her people and the humans worked side by side. It was strange, but hopeful. One day, while exploring the forest, Lyra found signs of the dark aliens, strange machines hidden beneath the trees. The enemy was closer than they thought. She told Captain Maya immediately. The humans and Virelians planned a careful attack. They would destroy the machines before the dark aliens returned. The mission was dangerous. Lyra led a small team, including Jalen and some brave Virelians. They moved quietly through the forest, avoiding traps and alarms. When they reached the machines, they saw how much damage the enemy had already done. The machines were taking energy from the planet, making the trees weak. Lyra felt anger and sadness. This was her home. She could not let it be destroyed. With careful hands, the team set charges to destroy the machines. Just as they finished, the dark aliens appeared. A fierce battle began. The dark aliens were strong and cruel, but the humans and Virelians fought with heart and courage. Lyra saw Jalen protect a young Virelian from an attack. She fought beside him, using her small size to move quickly and confuse the enemy. The battle was long and hard, but in the end, the humans and Virelians won. The dark aliens retreated, their machines destroyed. After the fight, Lyra looked at the humans with new respect. They were not just warriors, they were protectors. They fought not for power but for life. That night, Around a small fire, Lyra spoke to her people and the humans. Today, we fought together. We showed strength in kindness and courage. This is the way forward, Captain Maya nodded. Together we can stop the darkness and build a better future. Lyra smiled. For the first time she felt hope, not just for herself, but for all worlds. The tiny alien who once begged for mercy now stood as a symbol of unity, and the story of unlikely allies had only just begun. The morning sun shone softly over the purple fields of Veralia, casting long shadows across the tall, shimmering trees. The air was calm, but beneath the quiet surface, tension grew. Lyra stood among her people, feeling the weight of what was to come. The dark aliens were still out there, strong, cruel, and hungry for power. Captain Maya and her crew were busy preparing for the next step. They worked closely with the Verelians, sharing what they knew about the enemy. Lyra listened carefully to the humans' plans, learning how they used their technology and teamwork to fight. One evening, while exploring a hidden cave near the edge of the forest, Lyra found something unexpected. Deep inside the cave, carved into the smooth stone walls, were ancient symbols and drawings. They told a story of the dark aliens and their past. Lyra studied the symbols with growing shock. The dark aliens were not just enemies who wanted to conquer. They were slavers. Long ago they had taken many species as prisoners, forcing them to work and live in fear. The dark aliens' cruelty had spread across many planets, leaving destruction and sadness behind. Lyra hurried to tell Captain Maya what she had discovered. "This is worse than we thought," Maya said, her voice steady but serious. "The dark aliens do not care about life. They enslave, steal, and destroy. We must stop them before they hurt more worlds." The humans and Verelians gathered to discuss their next move. Lyra shared her knowledge of the cave and the dark aliens' cruel history. She saw the sadness in her people's eyes, but also a new determination. "We cannot let fear control us," Lyra said. "We must fight for freedom." Captain Maya nodded. "And we will fight with you." Together, the group formed a plan to strike at the dark aliens' main base, a distant planet hidden in a dark corner of the galaxy. It would be a dangerous mission, but it was the only way to end the threat. As they prepared, Lyra thought about her own people's past. For many years, the Verelians had stayed hidden, afraid to face the outside world. But now, they had a chance to be brave, to protect not just themselves but others too. The humans shared their technology and training with the Verelians. They worked side by side, building new defenses and practicing together. Lyra saw how much her people were changing. They were becoming strong, ready to face the darkness. One night, Captain Maya called Lyra to the ship's bridge. The stars shone brightly outside the window, and the quiet hum of the ship filled the room. "We have one more thing to show you," Maya said, handing Lyra a small device. Lyra activated it, and a hologram appeared, a map of the galaxy, with glowing points, showing where the dark aliens' forces were located. "Their power spreads like a shadow," Maya said, "but we have allies too. Many species want peace and freedom. We will call on them for help." Lyra felt hope grow inside her. The fight was not just theirs. It was a battle for the whole galaxy. The next day, they set out for the dark aliens' planet. The journey was long and quiet. Lyra looked at the stars and thought about the stories she had heard growing up, stories of heroes who faced impossible odds and never gave up. She remembered how scared she had been when the humans first found her. Now she was part of something bigger, stronger. She was no longer just a tiny alien begging for mercy. When they arrived, the dark planet was covered in black clouds and harsh mountains. The air was thick and cold. The enemy's machines covered the surface like a metal web. The humans and Verelians moved carefully, avoiding patrols and traps. Lyra led the way, using her knowledge of small spaces and quick movements. Inside the dark base, they found prisoners, aliens of many kinds, weak and frightened, but alive. Lyra's heart ached as she saw them, but she also felt a fierce hope. "We we'll free you," she promised. The battle that followed was fierce. The dark aliens fought hard, but the humans and their allies were stronger and smarter. They used teamwork and courage to break the enemy's hold. Lyra found herself face to face with one of the dark alien leaders, a tall, cold figure with eyes like ice. She stood firm, feeling the strength of the humans and her people behind her. The leader sneered, "You cannot stop us. We are power." Lyra looked into those cold eyes and said, "True power is kindness, courage, and hope." With that, the dark aliens were defeated. The prisoners were free, and the dark base was destroyed. The sun rose over the dark planet, now quiet and still. Lyra stood with the humans and her people. She looked around and saw smiles and tears of relief and joy. Captain Maya put a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "You have shown us what it means to fight with heart. You are a true hero." Lyra smiled. She thought about the tiny alien who once begged for mercy. She was gone. In her place stood a brave leader, ready to build a better future, not just for Virelia, but for all who dreamed of peace. The galaxy was still full of challenges, but Lyra knew one thing for sure. Humans were not the monsters she had feared. They were friends, allies, and heroes, and together they could shine brighter than any dark shadow. The dark planet was quiet now. The black clouds slowly began to clear, and the cold air started to warm with the light of a rising sun. The prisoners who had been freed began to heal, helped by the humans and Virelians working together. Hope was growing like a small flower breaking through the rocks. Lyra stood on a rocky hill, looking out at the wide, empty landscape. It was hard to believe this place had been so dark and full of fear just days before. Now it felt like a new beginning. Captain Maya came to stand beside her. "You did well," she said softly. "Your courage helped all of us." Lyra smiled but shook her head. "We did this together. Humans, Virelians, and many others. We are stronger as friends." Maya nodded. "You've taught us a lot, about bravery, kindness, and hope." The journey back to Virelia was filled with stories and laughter. The freed aliens told their own tales of pain and survival, but also of dreams for a better life. Lyra listened closely, learning from each one. When they returned home, the purple fields welcomed them like an old friend. Lyra's people greeted the newcomers with open hearts. The bond between humans and Virelians grew deeper every day. One evening, Lyra stood with her family under the shining stars. She thought about the tiny alien she once was, afraid, alone, begging for mercy. Now, she was a leader. She had faced darkness and found light, but the galaxy was still vast and full of unknown dangers. The dark aliens were defeated for now, but others might come. The fight for peace was never easy. Lyra looked at Captain Maya and the humans around her. "We will watch the stars together," she said. "We will protect each other," Maya smiled, "and we will explore the galaxy side by side." The humans and Virelians began to build a new alliance, a group of planets and species working for peace, freedom, and friendship. Lyra became a key voice in this alliance, sharing her story and inspiring others. Together, they created schools, hospitals, and places where everyone could learn and grow. They shared their knowledge and dreams. One day, Lyra received a message from a distant planet, a call for help. Without hesitation, she and Captain Maya prepared to answer. Their work was not finished. As the ship lifted off once more, Lyra felt a deep sense of purpose. The tiny alien who begged for mercy had grown into a hero of the stars. She knew the road ahead would be hard, but she was not afraid. With friends by her side and hope in her heart, Lyra looked to the future, a future where monsters were not defined by their race but by their choices, and the true strength of humanity and all beings shone brightest when they chose mercy, courage, and friendship. The stars awaited.